Check. All right. Welcome to the Montague Grange. And I don't know if you're familiar with what the Grange is all about. Back in the day, when there were more cows in Sussex County than there were people, they formed a Grange. Well, the Grange is all over the United States, but all of Sussex County, every town in Sussex County had a Grange. And it was a fraternal organization, kind of like a union for farmers. It represented them for government situations. Anyway, the cows left. The Granges kind of dwindled. And I don't know, how many are in Sussex County now? Do you know, Art? Are there 3? I think there's 3 kind of. And ours is just rejuvenated. And we have Grange meetings the 3rd Wednesday of every... Pay no attention to that child. Anyway, we have Grange meetings the 3rd Wednesday of every month. And anybody's welcome to come. In fact, if you'd like to try out the Grange, next Wednesday would be a good one because we have our bake-off. So there's going to be a lot of good food to eat, might be picked as a judge. And if you like the Grange and the meetings, you could join. And the Boy Scouts meet here, the Girl Scouts meet here, 4-H. We have the sewing groups and any other group that wants to use it. So we think about the community. We also, there's a piano bench, if anybody needs some more chairs. There's one chair up here, and there's a seat up here if somebody wants it. Okay, hold your hand up if you have a seat next to you that's available. Okay, we got some seats here. You guys want to come down here? So work hard. If you want to cook, you better sit quick. No, I'm sitting there. Okay, anyway, so much about the Grange. All Granges had stages, and they used to put on little plays and things. And how this got started, the way off Broadway players, Sharon and I put our heads together, and I had just kind of retired from the upper room playhouse up at the Deer Park Church. There's a seat over here, 2 seats over here. If you want to sit down, you know my family. Okay. Okay. So anyway, I said, why don't we just try doing some theater with adults? The Grange people, you know. And I said, it's got to be easier than working with teenagers, right? Anyway, so we put together a little theater. This is our 4th annual one. This year we're doing a show called Crime and Pun-Ishment. Rachel, if you'd like to sit over here. Oh, there's 2 seats there. Okay, we got a little packed house going here, that's it, right? Okay. If by any chance we have an emergency and have to get out, you can go out the way you came in, or there's a door out this way. If we will not have an intermission per se, usually we have an intermission halfway through the show. We will be having mini intermissions because there's set changes going on back there. So every time we have a little set change, I will be reading a little bit of the history of nursery rhymes, but you can go have some, there's cookies and iced tea in the back. Just take a little break, and when you hear, has anybody got the horn back there? The goose horn. Oh, honk it. Honk the horn. Lost their pride. Okay, honk it 2 times. When you hear that, quickly get back to your seats because we're going on to the next scene. Okay? So, if you need to the bathroom or have some refreshments, don't take a whole lot of time talking. Okay, you get cell phones, please. Silence cell phones now. a love offering thing, so we can't do that like that anymore. We can't collect love offerings, but you can put it in the envelope and either mail it or put it in that box back there. We've been given permission to do that, so Park Service thing. Government thing, you know. Okay, well, basically. Okay, so I guess we're about ready. I just think I did. But if I did, I'll get it. I wanted to get permission. Without further ado, way up Broadway presents Crime and Punishment. House lights, please.
In the nursery rhyme justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the detectives, who investigate the crime, and the magistrates, who prosecute the offenders. These are their rhymes.
Autopsy later today.
All right, well, where's that little chalk outline showing the placement of the body?
Well, it's over here, 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 and here.
Whoa. Wow. Okay, I need a description of the victim.
Well, we found his driver's license. There it is.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone so bald and pale and wow, he's really out of shape. He's as round as he's tall. So his name is
Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty, huh?
Yep.
Well, so why don't we treat this as a suicide?
Well, witnesses say that Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
What was he doing up there? Was he depressed? Was he having a terrible autumn?
Actually, friends that knew him said he had a great fall.
Are there any witnesses?
All the king's horses and all the king's men.
Horses, huh? I don't think their testimony is going to hold up in court.
Well, they are the main witnesses. Yep.
And yet you continue to punt.
I am the punster.
Yeah, you are. All right, so we got Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall. There's one problem with that.
What's that?
Hey, look at this again.
Yep.
See how scrawny his arms and legs are?
Yeah.
He could have possibly have gotten up there by himself.
So you're saying this isn't a suicide, but it's
an egg-a-side. It's an egg-a-side. 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 Oh, no! Well, it's obvious as the nose on your face. What we got here are eggshells by the dozen. It's a yolk, all that egg white simply splattered everywhere. It's not suicide, not that cut and dry. It must stay classified, I do declare. It's egg-a-side.
what we've got. Here's an omelet of puzzle. Crack and cry on the pavement, every piece of mystery. That egg took a slide right on his sunny side. And now he's liquefied beyond repair. It's egg-a-side. It's not suicide. It's not that cut and dry. It must stay classified, I do declare. It's egg-a-side. 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 Egg-a-side.
So are any of the witnesses still around?
We got one of the horses.
Or the horses?
Hey,
Well, I don't think that their testimony should be allowed in court.
or they might stir up trouble. I'll go get it.
All right, thank you. Hello there. So, you witnessed this Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall. Now, what time did that happen?
307. See.
Okay, so, did you see Humpty Dumpty on the top of the wall?
Nay!
Did you see Humpty Dumpty fall?
Nay!
This is ridiculous. She's not talking.
Well, you gotta give her a break, detective.
Why is that?
She has trouble talking.
Why?
She's a little horse. Let me ask her.
Please do.
Can you tell us in your own words what happened?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! It was terrible! It was horrible! It was atrocious!
All right, rein it on in.
We were in the stable around the corner. The king's horses were just tying on our feed bags when we heard this gargantuan splat. I ran out and looked over. It was awful! Awful! We all rushed over to see if we could help.
Well, what did you do to help?
Naturally, all the king's horses and king's men tried to put Humpty back together again.
And what stopped you from doing just that?
Well, for one, none of us made it through 4 years of medical school, let alone residency school to specialize in organ replacement surgery.
Well, what else prevented you from putting Humpty Dumpty back together again?
No hands!
Well, there's that.
Well, did you know Mr. Dumpty?
Nobody really knew him. He didn't have many friends. He was pretty obnoxious. in a shoe.
Oh, do you know his apartment number?
No, but he was renting the ground floor.
So you'd say he was the sole occupant?
Well, that's all. I have to get back to work.
Thank you for all your help. And what do you do here in town in case we need to contact you again?
This horse holds very important position.
Oh yeah, what's that?
She's the town mayor.
You deal with this every day?
Yeah, that's why they took away my gun.
Okay, house lights, please. This is one of the many, if you'd like to go back and have a little drink back there, or ice tea. Or a cookie, if you want to wait, if you want to go to the bathroom, whatever you say. Don't you two go away. Because, okay, cookie grab your back. Okay, what I am supposed to do. Can you hear me? Or do I need the microphone? I can talk. All right, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. The history of this is Humpty Dumpty was a colloquial term used in 15th century England describing someone who was obese. This was given rise to various but inaccurate theories surrounding the identity of him. The image of Humpty Dumpty was made famous by the illustrations included in the Alice in Wonderland novel by Lewis Carroll. This wasn't the one I was going to read, but that's okay. Yeah, this is it. Okay, I'll keep going. However, it was not the person which was famous. During the English Civil War in 1642, in the siege of Colchester, it was strongly fortified by the Royalists and was laid siege to by the parliamentarians, the Roundheads. In 1648, the town of Colchester had a castle and several churches which were protected by the surrounding city wall. Standing immediately adjacent to the city wall of St. Mary's Church, a huge cannon, commonly referred to as Humpty Dumpty, that's the one I was getting at, was strategically placed on the wall next to St. Mary's Church. The historical events detailing the siege of Gloucester are well documented. References to the cannon, Humpty Dumpty, are as follows, and I listed a whole bunch of them. It says, a shot from the parliamentary cannon succeeded in damaging the wall beneath Humpty Dumpty, which caused the cannon to tumble to the ground. And the royalists, or the cavaliers, all the king's men, attempted to raise Humpty on another part of the wall. However, because the cannon was so heavy, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. And that's where this came from, I believe. It's time to return to your seats for scene 2. House lights.
Here we come, here we come.
think this is the right place.
I think you're right. Knock, knock.
Yes.
Are you the old woman?
Why aren't you the charmer?
Are you the old woman who lives in a shoe?
Who's that?
Detective Green from the NRU.
No. I'm...
Pretty funny because this looks like a shoe-looking building right here.
No, I'm the young woman who lives in the Birkenstock.
Birkenstock?
Yes.
Aren't Birkenstock sandals?
Well, I've been doing some remodeling lately.
And did you say young woman?
You got a problem with that?
No, sorry. All right, sorry.
Yeah, we just need to ask a few questions.
You're not from Child Protective Services? Housing Code Enforcement?
No.
Homeland Security?
No. I am from the NRU, that's the Nursery Rhyme Unit. We're here investigating a murder.
Oh, murder. That's all. Oh, that's right. Would you ladies like some coffee or tea? How about some broth without bread?
Hey, that broth sounds pretty good.
Okay, I'll go
No,
get you some. Oh,
thank you though, but we're on duty. We'd just like to ask you a few questions.
okay.
Now, are these your children?
Yes, that's Mary and Larry.
Oh, Mary and Larry. Well, they are very
Cute.
Yeah, ain't that?
Excuse me. Well, did you have a renter who lived here by the name of Humpty Dumpty?
What do you mean did?
We found his body next to the wall. We're both pretty shell-shocked.
Did Mr. Dumpty rent from you?
Oh, you could say that. He was always behind on his rent, though. He had trouble holding a job.
Would you say you had to scramble for work?
And you are?
That is my partner, the punster.
I see.
Yeah, so what was Mr. Dumpty doing when he was... Oh, Mary and Larry?
No, that's not Mary and Larry.
It's not.
No, it's Mary and Barry.
Oh, Mary and Barry. Well, wow, they're very...
Cute.
Yeah, ain't that?
Oh, no. Okay, so, Mr. Dumpty, he was a loner, had no friends?
Well, he had one person pick him up regularly, about once a week, right?
Oh, you know this person's name?
No, I never caught her name.
Can you describe her?
Oh, she was gorgeous, stunning. Really, arms like an angel, long, elegant neck, a little too much makeup, though.
That sounds like Swan to me, Dick.
Yes, it does. Does the name Beautiful Swan ring a bell?
No.
Well, her name used to be Ugly Duckling before she legally changed it.
Ugly Duckling, of course. Humpty spoke of her all the time on the phone. I never connected her name with Ugly with that vision of loneliness that came to call here.
True, one would not think someone so fair could be named so foul.
Anyway, when Swan or Duckling would come
about once a week as some sort of support group.
Support group. Well, do you know the name of the support group?
Let's see, love, optimism, self-esteem, respect, and support.
Losers?
It's for people with low self-esteem.
Now, Humpty Dumpty, I could see going to that kind of a support group. You know, that kind of pale and rotund guy. But a beautiful swan, I don't understand why she would have to belong to that kind of group.
Well, I would imagine as being a swan, she was always feeling down.
Anyway, so the support group. Do you know anything about it? Do you know any more? All right. Now this is Jerry and Harry.
No,
Jerry and Carrie.
no, it's Jerry and Perry.
Oh, Jerry and Perry. Oh, they're very. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, ain't they?
I lost my train of thought a little bit. Do you know where this support group meets?
No, but Hunky gave me a phone number in case I ever wanted to connect, call him. I'll get the number for you. All right? It's in the kitchen. Wait.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Kids does she have or everything?
I'm glad you're on that side of it.
All right, thank you. Oh, 555. Mr. Dumpty and Mrs. Swan, were they in a romantic relationship?
Yes, they were at one time. All right. But Swan broke up with Humpty. Said she wanted to find herself.
Humpty got Dumpty?
You deal with this every day?
Yeah, that's why they took away my billy club. Oh, boy. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That you.
Oh,
Yeah, yes, no, yeah. There you go. Carry on, kids.
All right, so that's Gary Perry,
No.
Sherry and Harry.
No.
Carrie and Barry?
No. That's Terry and Engelbert.
Terry and Engelbert?
Yeah.
Wow, you are an old woman.
And I live in a shoe.
You have so many children.
Old woman lives in a shoe. I have so many children, I don't know what to do. There's Jerry and Perry, Sherry and Harry, Carrie and Barry, Mary and Larry, Terry and Engelbert. I love them and kiss them and cuddle them, love them, hold them when they have been good. Yeah! Roll them and know them, throw them, when they have been bad. Ouch! As I understood every mother's pride and joy, I wouldn't change her for a single learning loss. I am an old woman living in a shoe. You have so many children, I don't know what to do. You're Gary and Barry, Sherry and Harry, Gary and Barry, and Engelbert.
Now let me get this straight. It's Carrie and Barry,
No,
Jerry and Perry,
no,
Mary and Larry,
no, no,
Harry and Harry?
no.
Harry and Perry?
Sherry Barry,
Harry? Harry.
Terry and Engelbert.
Yes.
You are an old woman living in a shoe. You have so many children, you don't know what to do. There's Jerry and Perry, Sherry and
There are two choices of origin. The first relates to Queen hairline. There was an old wife of King George II who had 8 children. The second version refers to King George himself. Began the men's fashion of wearing white powder wigs. He was consequently referred to as the old woman. The children were the members of Parliament, and the bed was the House of Parliament. Even today, the term whip is used in the English Parliament to describe a member of Parliament who is tasked to ensure that all the members toe the party. You know, you like to whip them in shape, that's where they're coming from. And the point of historical interest, the wigs worn by the women of the period were so large and unhygienic that it became necessary to include mouse traps in their construction. Interesting, I think. We probably need another one. How much cleanup going on? Easier tonight. That's right, these fat slices become lean, and between the two of them, they make the platter clean. The origin of the word Jack Sprat can be found in British history. The Jack Sprat alluded to in this foundation code is reputed to be King Charles the First, and Henrietta Maria, his queen. Apparently, when King Charles declared war on Spain, Parliament refused to finance him, leaving him mean. So his wife imposed an illegal war tax to get some fat after the angered king, Jack Sprat, had dissolved Parliament. There you go. I'll save the rest.
Do you want to take Freya? Honey?
Depressive, but soon graduated to passive aggressive.
Today we're dysfunctional, no self-control.
I'm always being followed.
I'm hard to console.
We're very much in need
Of rehabilitation,
We can diagnose with a sheep
fixation.
Group therapy, a self-awareness treatment hub. Group therapy. Welcome to the psychosocial club.
Jumping over candlesticks, spend my dream. Then the nightmares come and I wake up and scream. I'm running, I'm jumping, I'm ready to compete. And the flames shoot up 25 feet. Burnt to a crisp.
Therapy, a self-awareness treatment of group therapy. Welcome to the psychosocial club. Group therapy, a self-awareness treatment of group therapy. Welcome to the psychosocial club.
All right, everyone, it's time to begin. Now, Montague, we talked about this. If you sit next to the girls and start kissing them, it will make them cry.
And the fact that I've got a restraining order against you. Remember, you have to be 10 feet away from me. Or Mr. Georgie Porgy put in him by.
Pun-Ishment, really? That's your last name? Yeah. What kind of last name is that? Pun-Ishment. Is that Danish?
No. No, Jack.
All right. All right, who would like to begin today? Jack B. Nimble! Now, this is progress. You're the first one to volunteer. That shows you're getting some confidence. Now, tell us about something exciting that you have accomplished this week.
Okay, so I set out the candlestick in the middle of the floor. But then I did some stretches and lunges to loosen up my muscles. Nothing worse than a pulled hamstring, if you know what I mean. Then I did a few approaches to the candlestick to get my footing right. And then I was nimble and quick, and I jumped over the candlestick. And as I might add, I did it without the performing-enhancing drugs.
A candlestick? That's it? That's what, 4 or 5 inches at most? What's so great about that?
Georgie, positive supporting comments only. What's the rule?
Don't be a party pooper. Tell everyone they're super duper.
Right, I forgot. Gee, Jack, that's a towering achievement. You should probably join the candlestick jumping Olympic team.
Georgie, I think that's very brave, Jack. And it shows that Jack be nimble, Jack be quick.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. What are you, a rapper?
Thank you for sharing, Jack. Who's next? Well, I see we have someone new with us today. And you are?
Blue.
Welcome to the club. This is losers after all.
Mary. I know you know I hate that acronym.
Hey, it beats the old name of our group. We really expect terrific, cheerful, happy endings daily. Come on, boy blue, you can figure it out. We really expect terrific, cheerful, happy endings daily.
Wretched?
You got it.
Okay. So I'm awful at picking our group names. Let's go and let's get to know our new group member, shall we? Now, tell us, why are you blue?
It was my father's name. I'm Little Boy Blue.
Excuse me?
I'm Little Boy Blue.
Blue, that's a weird name.
Said Mr. Georgie Porgy Puddin' and Pie.
Okay. So, Mr. Blue, why have you chosen to join our group?
I'm Blue.
We've already established that. Your father's name?
No, like Blue, as in depressed.
Why are you depressed?
I was fired from my job.
Hey, don't whine to us about being unemployed. Have you searched for lines lately? How many people are like candlestick jumpers?
What was your job, Mr. Blue?
No, stocks.
Oh, a stockbroker.
No, a shepherd.
Oh, a shepherd, really? We'll get to your particular problem in a moment, Blue. Now, Peep, now, Mr. Blue,
fired?
Yes, it's negligence.
Negligence?
Well, you see, the sheep are in the meadow and the cow are in the corn.
Oh, why didn't you blow your horn?
Yeah, you are the boy who looks after the sheep.
Well, you see, I was under the haycock, fast asleep.
Did you wake him?
No, not I.
Or if you do, he'd be sure to cry.
Yeah, that's about it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I kiss the girls and make them cry.
That's so much better.
Georgie, Swan, that's enough. Mary, how was your week?
Well, I still feel like I'm being followed.
Hey, this sounds interesting.
It's not. It's creepy. This lamb, and its fleece is as white as snow. And everywhere that I went this week, the lamb was sure to go.
Are you sure you're just not imagining things?
I'm not. It followed me to school one day.
Isn't that against the rules?
Yes, but it made the children laugh and play to see the lamb at school.
Did you try blowing a horn to scare it away?
You continue.
And so the teacher turned it out, but still it lingered near. It waited patiently about until it did appear.
Why does the lamb love Mary so?
I believe Mary loves the lamb so. Mary, this should make you feel very good. You should have someone attached. You have someone attached to you. It's a reflection of your inner self.
So what does that say about me, Doctor? I've lost my sheep and can't tell where to find them.
No, Peep, leave them alone and they'll come running home wagging their tails behind them.
You've been telling me that for 3 years. Last night, I was counting them in my head. But before I could get to all of them, I kept falling asleep. Then, when I was sleeping, I thought I heard them bleeding. But when I awoke, I found it a joke, for still they were all fleeting. If they loved me, they'd be following me to school like Mary over here. Mary D, I didn't love them enough. Maybe they didn't know how much I loved them.
Maybe you didn't love them at all.
That's not true, Georgie. That's it. I'm taking up my little crook, and I'm determined to find them. You, Blue Boy.
Boy Blue.
Yeah, whatever. You're a shepherd who's out of work, right?
Well, I was hoping I could collect some unemployment, maybe try to find myself. You know.
Well, you can find yourself while you're helping me find my sheep. You're with me. Come on, let's go.
Excellent
And
progress,
by the way, we're not stopping by any haycocks, whatever those are. I can't have you falling asleep on the job. Let's go.
Excellent progress, Bo Peep. You're not just sitting around anymore. You're taking matters into your own hands. This is a very big step for you. I'll see you next week, Bo Peep. Good luck, boy.
Thank you.
Swan, where is Humpty Dumpty today?
Excuse me, Doctor.
Yes?
I'm Detective Green from the NRU.
I'm Dr. Foster from Gloucester.
Pleased to meet you, Doctor. I'm afraid we have some very bad news.
Oh?
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a little accident.
Oh, and I thought I was making such great progress here.
What are you saying?
We found the body by the wall. Wasn't a very pretty scene. Sorry.
This is a very emotional evening. Given this bad news, I think we better adjourn. And think we ought to gather our thoughts together. We'll continue next week.
Miss Swan, we understand that you were a friend of Mr. Dumpty. I know you're probably shattered by this news. This isn't going to go over easy, Miss Swan, but we need to ask you a few questions.
He was feeling very fragile this week.
Would you say he was close to cracking up?
Why, no. He was more positive than I've seen him in a while.
Looking on the sunny side of things, huh? This isn't going to go over easy, Miss Swan. So we're going to ask you some more questions. We suspect foul play.
You mean it's fall? Was no accident?
No, we don't believe so, Miss Swan. Can you think of anyone who might have wanted to hurt Humpty Dumpty?
You know, the goalies who rolled him over for his lunch money. It's hard being the fat kid or the ugly kid. I would know. I was picked on a lot as a child.
But he was making such great progress in this group.
Can you think of anyone, Miss Swan, more recently that might have had it out for Humpty?
Can't think of anyone.
Oh, we're looking for a hard
hard-boiled kind of character.
You have to put up with this every week.
Every week. That's why they took away my taser.
I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore, Detective.
Well, here's the number. Well, I'll write it on your hand. If you think of anything else, give me a call.
Well, we'll let you know if we find out anything, Detective. Swan, come with me. I'll drive you home.
Did you notice anything unusual, Detective?
What do you mean?
Well, for Swan being his only closest friend, she didn't seem too shook up by the news.
Well, sometimes shock takes a little time to, to wear.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, Swan couldn't be a suspect.
Why not?
She's not a nursery rhyme character.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
Okay, well, what's the rhyme?
Well, smarty pants. It's hickory dickory dock.
That's Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse ran off the clock.
All right. Diddle diddle duckling.
No, that's Diddle Diddle Dumpling.
All right. Little Miss Ducket sat on her bucket.
No. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet.
Now I know you're lying, because there's no such thing as a tuffet.
There most certainly is a tuffet, and don't get me started about the curds and whey.
Really?
Yeah,
No kidding.
no kidding. Besides, Swan is from Hans Christian Andersen. The story about the ugly duckling that turns into a beautiful swan. And I don't think that Hans Christian Andersen is even related to Mother Goose.
All right, what are we going to hear about now? How about Jack Dimble? Okay, Jack and Nimble, Jack, be quick. Jack jump over the candlestick. The most commonly agreed origin for Jack and Nimble is the connection to Black Jack, an English pirate, who was notorious for escaping from the authorities in the late 16th century, hence Jack and Nimble. The words cannot be further analyzed due to the brevity of the text, but could be associated with the old tradition and the sport of candle leaping. It really was a sport, which used to be practiced in some English fairs. The tradition of candle leaping originated from an old game of jumping over fires. This dangerous game was banned and replaced by the far less dangerous sport of candle leaping. In Wendover, there were lace-making schools, a good excuse for using children as slave labor. Where here it was traditional to dance around the lace-maker's great candlestick, and this led to jumping over the candlestick. Due to the cost of candles, some employees only allowed the use of candles during the darkest months of the year, and centered around Candlemas Day. There's anyone know about that? Candlemas Day, known as the candle season. It is interesting to note that Jack B. Nimble is now being referred to as Jack B. Nimble, the influence of the modern day practice of texting. It says right here, in front of her, it is interesting to note that Jack B. Nimble is now being referred to as Jack, the letter B, Nimble, the influence of the modern day practice of texting. I don't know, it says that's come in the book.
Okay, how's like
Here we go.
Not one clue so far. We're gonna have to work extra hard to solve this crime.
Monster, you might want to lay off on the puns and the corners. She's got a lot of sharp objects around here. Oh, detectives, I'm so glad you made it so soon. I have something to show you. Can you put those on?
Kind of hoping you were going to be done with this by the time we got here. I don't have much of a stomach for that kind of thing.
Oh, come on. See you, man. Robert, you need to put these on too.
Why we need these?
You know, giant egg, salmonella.
Okay.
Now it's gonna be.
Never make good.
You need these too? Put these on too? What are these for? Health regulations, you know. All right. So.
All right. Let's hear it.
So, what do you got for us? Well, I examined the outer body. I had to be very careful.
Did you feel like you were walking on eggshells?
I heard about you. You're the new guy in the department. The punster, right?
That's me. I see my reputation precedes me.
I heard they had 15 Eighth Amendment violations filed against you.
Eighth Amendment.
Yeah, that's the cruel and unusual Pun-Ishment.
Oh. What can I say?
Anyway, this victim died of massive trauma to the head, chest, and pelvis.
All three?
With this victim, his head, chest, and pelvis are all one and the same. What's really interesting, if you look in here, it's all white.
You're right, it is all white. That's funny. Where's the yellow?
Funny? Why is it funny? I don't get the yolk.
Take that 16 violation.
Master. I'm the pun master. A pun or two never hurt nobody. It's a mighty fine way to start each day. A pun or two or three or four to leave you rolling down on the floor.
All right, now where was I? That's right. No yolk. So, you think the killer had something against cholesterol? Either that or he was making a meringue for a massive lemon pie. Why would you say that? Because there's no yolk, and the white is all fluffy.
Humpty Dumpty was beaten and then whipped? The pun master. I'm the pun master. A pun never hurt nobody. It's a mighty fine way to start each day. A joke or two or three or four can tickle your funny bones to the core.
Detective, can you give me that scratch one?
There you go.
Oh, well, I think he was a health nut or someone who really likes pot.
Or both.
What else you got? Well, Humpty Dumpty had a tattoo. Tattoo? What was it? Just words. Grade A large. Gee. Someone with a self-esteem problem. That's pretty conceited.
I suspected all along he was an egomaniac.
18.
On the pun master. On the pun master.
Well, that killer too never hurt nobody.
It's a mighty fine way to start each day.
A laugh or 2 or 3 or 4 can leave you hankering for one more. Well, here's the weirdest part. What's that? He had food coloring on the outside of the shell.
He was dyed when he died?
It's gotta be 37 or something.
On the pun master. On the pun master. Yes, a pun or 2 never hurt nobody.
It's a mighty fine way to start each day.
A pun or 2 or 3 or 4 can make you split a gut on the floor.
A pun or 2 never hurt nobody.
It's a mighty fine way to start each day.
A love or 2 on a daily stroll.
It's good for the body and good for the soul.
It's good for the body and good for the soul. Well, that's all I got for you. Did you care for Mama? Oh, yeah, don't mind if I do.
Hey, that's not...
No, I just haven't had breakfast yet. Good. Home available. And higher protein, low cholesterol.
Hey, did you guys hear the one about the butcher who backed up into the meat grinder and got a little behind in his work? Dr. Foster went to Gloucester in a shower of rain. He stepped in a puddle right up to his middle and never went there again. The origins of the words from Dr. Foster. This poem clearly originates from England with reference to the ancient country of Gloucester. Now we have this argument. Is it Gloucester or Gloucester? Why do they put all those extra letters in there? Well, I want to know, right, Ron? Okay. Anyway, it served as a warning to children in bygone days prior to modern roads that what may appear to be a shallow puddle could in fact be much deeper. Who was Dr. Foster? The origins reputedly lie in English history dating back to the Plantagenet monarchy of the 13th century. Should have read these ahead of time. When King Edward I, hereby known as Dr. Foster, was thought to have visited Gloucester and fell from his horse into a large muddy puddle. He is said to have been so humiliated by this experience that he refused to ever visit Gloucester again. Is it wrong? You like it so far? Now you know, I was going to mention in the beginning that it's kind of a multi-generational. We've got teenagers and we've got the old somebody to eat a massive meringue pie.
There we go. So I think this is the place.
I think this would be right.
Knock, knock.
Yeah? What do you want?
Hello, I'm Detective Green from the NRU. We'd like to ask your husband some questions, please.
Jack. What do you want with Jack?
We just have a couple questions for him. Can you please get them?
All right, you got nothing to hide.
Wow. You must be Mrs. Pratt.
Yeah, what makes you say that?
Well, Jack Sprat's wife could eat no lean, and I'm thinking lean cuisine is not on your menu.
Nah, I never eat frozen dinner.
Yeah, okay.
Would you like something to eat? Pork rinds, donuts, some lard?
Lard?
Yeah, I just put it between 2 slices of light bread. Or I just eat it right out of the can.
That'll stick to your ribs.
Yeah, the holes in your arteries. That explains why Mrs. Spratt is not too tall.
Why is that?
Because Crisco is shortened.
Are you sure you don't want anything to eat? Muffins, donuts, anything to keep your mouth full?
No, ma'am. We'd actually just need to talk to your husband, please. Could you get him?
Jack is indisposed.
Indisposed?
He's running.
Running? Running where?
In the shower. He's so thin, he has to run around the shower to get wet.
When he gets return mail, it says return to slender.
When he stands sideways and sticks out his tongue, he looks like a zipper.
His favorite song is Lean on Me.
During a thunderstorm, he can stay dry by standing under a clothesline.
He'd make a great magician because he's so slight.
Okay. Could you please just get your husband?
Jack, get out here.
Yes, dear?
He is skinny.
Hey, I heard that.
And I don't mean to say Mrs. Pratt is fat, but if the girl fits,
Or in this case, doesn't fit.
And I heard that. How dare you call my wife fat? Besides,
Listen here, Mrs. Smarty Pants. No one calls my man skinny. Besides, he's not skinny. He's just slender and sleek. He's not skinny. He's just a storybooky. His muscles are prized, even though they're disguised. He may be lanky, but he's not skinny. He's not skinny. He's just real small bone. He's not skinny. He's super sturdy in tone.
I'll say it out loud. I'm thin and I'm proud.
He may be puny, but he's not skinny. It doesn't matter what the village folk think.
Despite the criticism, I never blink.
Yeah, he's one lean, mean dude, coupled with an attitude. No, Jack. He's the roughy, toughy, scrawny, brawny, muscle-licious mountain of love. Mountain of love.
I'm skinned, I'm beautiful, and I'm digging it. Fat. She's just a little pound gal. She's not fat. She never eats little cow. She sways and she swerves. She sways and she swerves. She may be portly, but she's not fat. She's not fat. She's just a big little gal. She's not fat. She's just a thin big towel.
I'll sing it out loud. I'm big and I'm proud.
She may be pudgy, but she's not fat. It doesn't matter what the village folks say.
I'm gonna live my life any old way.
One part, one motor, one life. Show 'em, honey. Delicious mountain of love. Mountain of love.
I'm big, I'm beautiful, and I'm loving it. It doesn't matter what one delicious mountain of love. Mountain of love. Don't be too quick, it gets done. I'm the creme de la creme.
You delicious.
Most delicious, one delicious mountain of love. Mountain of love. My program is looking good, honey. So don't you dare change the channel.
From now on, you girls can call me Super Stud.
Now we got that sorted out. These two flatfoots have some questions for you.
Yes, Flatfoot, I mean ladies.
Well, Super Stud, I mean Jack. Where were you on the night of October 13th?
I was doing some baking.
Does that involve baking pies, perhaps?
Well, yes, but I don't see...
Because of Mr. Humpty Dumpty was found beaten and whipped on October 13th, and you gotta crack a lot of eggs and make pies. Am I right, Mr. Jack Sprat? If that is in fact your real name?
Yes, but...
Give me no buts, Mr. Egg Cracker. Murder in this case was a half-baked act.
But...
You gonna talk, Mr. Patsy Chef, or do I need to pun again?
Wait. What is the big eye push just gave him? It's my turn to be the bad cop.
No, it's my turn to be the bad cop. I'm the punster. I'm the natural to be the bad cop.
No, you were the bad cop last time. It's my turn to be the bad cop.
No, my turn to be the bad cop.
You know, I don't want to be a good cop, and I gotta say, can I get you some coffee? And oh, there, and let me loosen your thumb screws.
It's my turn.
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right.
Go. Ha. Oh, that's the scissors. Okay. Go.
Ha! So you gonna talk, Jack, or do I need to pun again?
But...
Shut your pie hole, pun in. Talk.
But...
I said shut up and talk.
But...
Oh, no. Hold on. Go on over there and open your phone or talk to your like Candy Crush or something. There. Please, it's okay. Would you like some coffee? Would you like me to loosen your thumb screws?
Thumb screws?
I got a little ahead of myself. Sorry.
I know what you two are up to, and I ain't talking. If you don't have any evidence, then you can just arrest us, or you can just leave.
All right, Jack. Let's think extra hard about this. Are you sure there's nothing you want to tell us?
Stop panning, please. I'll talk. I'll tell you I'll talk.
Don't say another word. I know my rights, and I'm not going to talk until we get counsel.
Wait a minute. Is there a little egg white on your apron there?
Yeah. What of it? I ate a lot of omelets. Keep up my strength.
Bet you that the egg white on her omelet matches that of Humpty Dumpty. And we got a witness who has Mr. Jack Sprat here that took a picture of him beating egg whites. Huh? Oh, we're going to call it Exhibit A.
Don't say another word. We're not going to talk until we get counsel.
What were you two thinking? You're nursery rhyme characters. We expected better from you. You're supposed to set a better example. Now you're going to get exactly what's coming to you.
You put up with this every day.
Well, that's why they took away my baby pit bull, my pit bull. You two are under arrest for the murder of Humpty Dumpty. Anything you can and say will be held against you in court of law. All right.
Come on, you two.
You do not
of the words bleat and sheep. I didn't know that. There is a specific relevance to events in history for the origins of Little Bo Peep. Until fields were enclosed with fences and hedges, people used common land for grazing livestock. Children were often given the job, hear that, kids? Children were given the job of ensuring that the animals did not wander off. Hence, the nursery rhymes such as Little Bo Peep, Little Boy Blue. And the moral of Little Bo Peep is that one must take responsibility of falling asleep or face the consequences. Lambs' tails were often removed to prevent fly strike. This is the sad part. That's where eggs fly. Bless you. The removal of the tail obviously took place while Bo Peep was asleep. Or possibly over time they fell off. Clearly, on seeing the sheep without their tails, she was dismayed and thought that she would get into trouble. Therefore, tried to reunite the sheep with their tails, like trying to find them. Well, it says it here. I don't know. Okay, you children who want to get in the file there now. Yeah, well,
Sorry about that, but let me check the line over here. Ultimate lie.
hurry up.
If you kids want to come up here and set up trumpet, you can't sit in the middle of the aisle. Want to come, girls?
All rise. I said all rise. Even you with that funny looking hat on your head. Everybody rise. The People versus Jack Spratt and his outstanding wife, Mrs. Spratt. The judgmental is presiding. You may be seated.
Prosecution, you may call your first witness.
The people call Simple Simon to the stand.
You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I didn't take that all that thought.
What?
I didn't take that all the thought.
I said the whole truth. W-H-O-L-E, not the whole truth.
Okay, I did take the whole the thought.
You may be seated.
It was a beautiful hole.
You may be seated.
So, Simple Simon, you met a pie man.
Yeah, the fifth.
What did you say to the pie man?
I said, let me touch your whip.
What did the pie man say to you?
He said, you show me a penny, but I didn't have it.
You hadn't any penny?
That no sense.
First of all, this testimony is going nowhere. And second, penny and cents is obviously a pun, and it belongs to the Punisher, sir. And third, this witness is obviously mental.
Mental? As in someone not conforming to the everyday process of the dominant culture?
No, I'm not.
Or by mental, do you mean someone who is a deep thinker, like
No.
myself? Or is someone who's not appreciated by the pragmatic bourgeoisie?
No, I'm not.
You mean mental? By someone being stupid?
I take that back, Judge.
That's judgmental to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Your objection is overruled, withdrawn, and hung by the neck.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Darn tootin'. Now, Mr. Simon, you may continue with your testimony.
Where was I?
No sense.
Tell me, Simple Simon, what did you do when the pie man would not let you taste his wares?
I followed him to his house.
What did you see there?
I saw him baking a crust for a pie, and he used lard.
Or fat?
Or fat. But he was beating an egg white to put, for that fluffy stuff on top of the cake.
Did you say fresh egg white?
Right out of it. Yep. Right out of it.
How do you know it was fresh egg white?
Because it was in a big, giant white shell.
What in this courtroom? Listen, I'll take a tail ham, egg, and cheese. Enough with the gasping already. Picture.
I took a picture.
Is this the picture?
Yeah.
Let it be noted that this picture will be filed as Exhibit A. I have no further questions for this witness.
Defense your witness. Now watch yourself.
Mr. Simon, is it?
Yeah.
And you go by Simple?
Yeah.
And you go by other names. Isn't that true?
Well, in the schoolyard, the kids used to call me Simple Pimple, but my therapist says she's Polly.
Isn't it true you also Peter Pumpkin Eater? You kept your wife in a pumpkin shell.
Oh, yeah.
And also known as Wee Willie Winkle. Arrested for being a peepy Tom and walking around in his nightgown.
Hey, you know what? It's been a while since I did this.
Also known as Tom Pound the Piper's son. Who was called for kidnapping.
You know what? There's a logical explanation for that.
Isn't your real name Crooked Man?
Yes.
And you have a crooked cat who caught a crooked mouse, and you all live in a crooked little house.
Yeah.
You got quite a rap sheet there, Mr. Simon. Or are you testifying against Jack Spratt today?
I feel it's my civil duty as a citizen.
Did the prosecution offer you immunity for your testimony today?
Yeah, well, what do you expect?
So your testimony was brought. How did you just happen to have a camera when you went to the Spratt household?
I'm an amateur photographer.
Amateur? Isn't it true? You've been paid a great deal of money for your pictures. Isn't it true? As Wee Willie Winkle, you were arrested not only for being a peeping Tom, but for extortion.
Hey, I was arrested, but I was never convicted.
Yes, of course. Maybe you were never convicted because you had incriminating pictures of the judge presiding in this case.
Objection! Objection!
So,
Objection!
So, Mr. Simons, or shall I say Crooked Man, you have a criminal record, your testimony was brought, and you were outside Jack Spratt's household in order to commit a felony. Am I leaving anything out?
I think a real good hole.
And not done with this witness.
You may step down. Defense, call your first witness.
Defense calls Jack Spratt.
Mr. Spratt, you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may be seated.
Mr. Spratt, you heard the witness before you claim that he saw you beating egg white. Is that true?
Yes.
And were you beating them in a giant eggshell?
Yeah, there's no law against beating eggs, is there?
True. Where did you get this giant egg? This giant eggshell?
From Mother Goose.
Mother Goose? See, Mother Goose?
It's enough, I'm warning you. Enough with the gasping already.
Your Honor, Mother Goose is right outside this courtroom. I suggested to bail the prayer and bring him in for testimony.
Your Honor, this is most irregular.
Indeed, it is most irregular.
True, Your Honor. If you prefer, I can recall Central Simon for more questions about the pictures.
Bailiff, go grab Mother Goose and bring her to the witness stand. She's got quite a temper.
Your Honor.
What the hump's going on here? Swear her in, bailiff.
She's already swearing.
Jack Spratt is on trial for the murder of Humpty Dumpty.
Murder? Huh? Of my son? What the hell is going on here, you humble judge? Well, listen. I said that the next person that gasped about anything here was going to get a gobble to the noggin. But you know what? Maybe I was a little too hasty. Go ahead. Continue.
What's going on here, people?
All right,
Defense,
is this the first time? Is this the first time you've heard of the murder of Humpty Dumpty?
Murder? Of my son? Oh my God.
Yes, it is. Who did it? Was it that nasty Mrs. Spratt?
I never.
What do you think the perpetrator was Mrs. Spratt?
She was always jealous of my son's figure.
Mrs. Spratt has an alibi for the night of the 13th.
The 13th? Did
Yes.
you say the 13th?
Yes.
That's impossible. It was fit as a fiddle this morning.
We'll just continue with this testimony right now. Go ahead, Mrs. Goose.
What do you mean still alive? His body was found at the bottom of the wall.
That wasn't his body, that was his shell.
What do you mean?
My son was with me this morning. And he's living with me for the past 5 years after college. He's quite smart, you know.
I always knew he was an egghead.
One more outburst like that, and that's another gavel to the noggin.
As I was saying, Humpty is quite smart. He wouldn't leave the nest. I had to push him out to get his independence. He was living with me, and I had to make his lunch and do his laundry, and, you know, it was getting tiresome. So he was dating that nice Miss Swan, little beautiful Swan, and, you know, it was the last straw. So he was living in a shoe, for goodness sake. And, well, I pushed him out of the nest.
You pushed Humpty Dumpty out of the nest. You murdered your own son.
Murdered? Did you say murder? lunch today. In fact, here he comes now.
Hey, Mom, what's up?
Come on, Humpty. We're going for lunch. Everyone here, meet my son, Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty, you're alive!
Well, I'm independent now. I've got my own condo. I made my first down payment.
Hey, that's supposed to be my pug.
That's right, all puns belong to the... Overruled. Right?
Judge, seeing that Humpty Dumpty's alive and well, I think we let my client go.
I agree. I think we're going to dismiss this case. The defendant is free to go.
Okay,
That just goes to show you, Detective. What's that? Don't count your victims before they're hatched.
You know something else, Punster?
What's that?
Oh, they might have taken away my gun.
My billy club.
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
A pit bull. But they didn't take away my cattle prod. Let's see you go.
Hey, diddle diddle!
When you guys turn around, drive the front light, look at the front door.